Let's talk boxing. That was a great fighter. Past tense. I think his career is probably over. Canelo Alvarez, who has progressed up into different classifications, wound up losing middleweight title fight to Terence Crawford over the weekend. Crawford was 41-0. Canelo is 62-2-2. He's been a phenomenal fighter. And Mexico has had great fighters for decades upon decades. But I asked the burning question, because this fight was like off the radar. Nobody paid any attention to it. I wrote about it on my website. Canelo is just a great, great champion. And he lost to Terence Crawford, who went up in 2 weight classes to fight this guy at the heavier weight, and he tattooed him. It was a unanimous decision. Scorecard was 116-112, 115-113, 115-113. I watched a video. Alvarez had no answer to Terence Crawford's left. He just kept walking in and getting pounded. He hasn't announced his retirement, but in effect, likely his career is over. And Terence Crawford's fought great people, including Mayweather. But I asked, so that was a great fight. I'm disappointed to not get more national recognition. It was not on anybody's radar. And the bigger question I'll pose to boxing fan is boxing's era over? I mean, if we think boxing, John and I are about the same age group, and we think,
what? No,
well, I'm better looking. But think about this. When I think boxing, my era, your era, Hearns, Hagler, Sugar Ray.
Oh, yeah, that's the 80s.
Roberto Duran, Julio Cesar Chavez. I mean, there's so many great boxers. And prior to that, maybe your dad's era, my dad's era, Ali, Frazier, Holyfield, Foreman, Tyson. Where is all that? Those 2 eras are 2 of the greatest of all time, and boxing's not on anybody's radar. You people walking down the hallway, are you more into cage fighting? You're more into UFC? You're not in WWE, are you? Hulk Hogan, et cetera, et cetera. So, John, you tell me, how come a great fight like that doesn't get any coverage? And secondly, is boxing over, and why is it over?
No, boxing's not over. I'll just say this as a fan, I've kind of gone in and out of the world of boxing, especially depending on the stars. And I'll tell you what, I love watching old videos of Muhammad Ali. I mean, not only Muhammad Ali in the ring, but Muhammad Ali as
the persona.
The persona, yeah. And some of the, he was so outspoken on so many social issues, and he's clever and funny, and he's got a lot of great things going for Muhammad Ali. He is the champ, the greatest of all time, the GOAT of all GOATs. I mean, an American hero, Muhammad Ali. But yeah, it's like the whole, world, the World Wrestling thing really blew up in the 80s, and that kind of, took a little bit of the sheen off of boxing. And then, yeah, with UFC now, boxing is sort of in the shadows. It'll kind of rear its head up a little bit, certainly around the Olympics. And then it kind of goes back to the shadows. But, with all these Creed movies, I think it's pumping, some oxygen into boxing as far as fan interest. And I still find myself, like, if I'm just channel surfing and the primary sports like baseball, football, basketball, soccer, hockey are not on, I'll find an old fight, or I'll find some UFC match, some MMA. I don't know what level of fighting it is, but I'll watch that. And it's actually very entertaining. And I can now appreciate boxing for what it is, as a sport, especially the history of boxing in America is really special. But then you understand the nuances of how boxing is different than a cage match and the things that they can do. And then you begin to maybe have a better sense of an understanding of the sport. And boxing, I think, is due for another wave, another kind of rise in interest.
But there's no interest in it nationally. I'm not going to say this is the fault of the Russians, but we had 2 brothers. This is the post-Tyson era. Remember the Klitschko brothers?
Yeah.
From Ukraine? And they were both heavyweights, and they won the title, but they did not fight here in the States, and they didn't speak the language very well, and they went back and fought in Europe. And I just don't think heavyweight class, I don't think boxing's been the same since the Klitschko's took the belts and left. I think it's been a downhill cycle ever since that point in time.
Well, because there haven't been a lot of American boxers. All those names that you mentioned, I think every single one of them was an American, weren't
and
they?
they came through the Olympics for the most part.
Yeah. So, it's gotten more international, just like all the fighting categories and sports versions have gotten more international. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's like men's tennis. There's not enough American stars. American fans sort of lose a little bit of interest.
Okay. Fans Forum chat box is open. Looking for boxing fans. We've never touched this topic on the table, but we do sports talk the way it should be done. We talk about everything. So the Fans Forum chat box is open. Podcast is brought to you by Dixieline Lumber and Home Centers, 9 locations to serve you in San Diego. Regardless of the project in the home or the back patio, in the kitchen, the restrooms, think Dixieline Lumber.